Phelan Hill, who coxed Britain's 8 to a gold in bronze in 2012 and a gold in 2016.
Yeah.
We haven't chatted about specific training. Yeah.
It's a good question, actually. You got your heart rate parameters, you've got your boat speed parameters, you've got your perceived exertion, which of course is a subjective thing. And which one do you go on? And we had so many discussions about that this year. Hey, we're supposed to be in my U2 zone, but the boat speed is appalling. And we can't just sit here and roll crap like this. We need to sort of push on a bit and get a bit of speed going. Yeah, but that's going to make my heart rate go up. So our physiologist, our chief physiologist, Caroline McManus, who was she's Irish and she was my bridesmaid.
I know,
believe it or not. So she moved out to New Zealand with the family, and so she's the chief physiologist up in rural New Zealand, and she really brought a whole lot of common sense to it. She said, she's a qualified physiologist and a physiotherapist as well, very bright, but said, look, there's no one parameter that you stick to. It's a sense of everything. Yes, you keep an eye on the heart rate, but don't do it religiously. And we used to have sessions where we'd tape over the watches so the boys couldn't look at the heart rate. We'd have sessions where the cogs wouldn't give the speed, but you just go off heart rate. And we'd have sessions where there was no technology in the boat. And you just go on your perceived exertion level. And all those things are in and around the same thing. So when we talked about UT2, we kind of had a reasonably rough idea about what that was. But if it drifted over or drifted under, it didn't really matter, because if you do that day in, day out, 90% of the stuff you're going to do will be UT2, which is important. So we weren't, and as we got on, we were certainly, when I picked up the boys, we were very, very numbers focused. And it was something that annoyed Hamish, actually, because Hamish was an advocate of actually just going out and, of course, being the experienced athlete, you know your body a lot better. So I think for youngsters, it's important that you do know where your zones are and you're just aware of them. But as you get older, you could, and I was the same when I rode, I could tell what my heart rate is within 2 beats, just on how I felt or how fast it was going. So it is a combination of both. Don't get too caught up in the numbers, because the most important thing is that the boat rows well. Yes, you need to be physiologically capable and fit, and that's why you do your ergo training to specific numbers. So when you're on the erg, absolutely stick to your zones. But when you're in the boat, let it drift a bit. And every now and again, we used to do these UT2 sessions, and then it was like a wild horse. You get to the last K of it, and the boys would be rating 22, and you would just look over at Matt, who was stroking, just nod, and off they'd go. Keep the rate of 22, but just pull as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And throw the watts out the window and throw the heart rate out the window and just make the boat sing. And I tell you what, 1,000 meters of that a couple of times a week just added length to the boat. That's where the big boy rhythm came from. Was that huge speed of contraction. Now, we weren't doing it for 20K. We were doing it for a K.
Yeah.
But, we were down at, 130 split at 22, which is pretty quick.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, go by the science by all means, but feel the boat as well. Yeah.